Why can't we have nice things? I think back then when games were starting to pop up, especially 3D games, it was okay for games to have some time in the oven. But nowadays, it's like, you can't go 5 years without some guy on Twitter or YouTube, or a dozen of people, sending massive amount of hate just because you won't release your game. In a way, it's quite impressive that Rockstar Games, if they are making GTA 6, hasn't announced it yet, because the amount of hate that people can get just by not releasing a very hyped game is just extraordinary. One of the examples that I jump straight to, and most people do, is Cyberpunk 2077. The people at Redbird couldn't give their employees enough time to finish the game, so it resulted in a half-baked piece of junk that is looked down by literally everyone. Regardless, that is not the reason that you clicked on the video for. You clicked on this video on why the security breach is so bad. Now, disclaimer, I am not saying that Security Breach is a bad game. I quite enjoyed the game, I thought it was fun as what it is. But lots of other people had problems with the games, and I'm just pointing my fingers on what the problems could be. So for the people that are lost on what I'm talking about, Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach is a first-person horror game where you have to survive till 6 AM. Along the way, you'll meet some not-so-friendly faces and have to go to certain places until 6 AM. So now that you are informed what Security Breach even is, for the context of this video I need to explain some things for viewers that are not sure of FNAF. Security Breach was given life in 2019 when a few teasers came out about the title. After some leaks, the title was then revealed to be officially been called Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. Set to release in 2020, it was a bit silent until a delay happened that pushed it back to 2021. Then in 2020, we got our first look of Security Breach. And it was pretty safe to say that a lot of people were excited for this.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Fast forward a bit, a few trailers came out, and then the release of Security Breach came out. And while a lot of people liked it, myself included, there was a few people that didn't really enjoy the experience, mainly because of the bugs, and also for story reasons. But I'm not going to go into story reasons, mainly because I don't really care about that bit. Mainly, I am going to be explaining to why the game is 70 gigabytes. The reason that it's even 70 gigabytes at all is because Scott Cawthon had addressed on Reddit that the release of Security Breach is getting a lot more further due to the game expanding a lot.
So, it's like I wanted to bake this cake, right? And Steel was like, hey, we can bake that cake. And it was like, it needs to be baked by Christmas. And they were like, we can bake it by Christmas. But then I checked the oven, like last month, and said, hey, Steelwall, the cake is like 3 times bigger than it was supposed to be. And they were like, yeah, it's going to be great. And I was like, yeah, but it's not going to be baked by Christmas. It's still gooey in the middle. So we had to make a choice. Should we trim the cake and make it smaller for Christmas? Or should we let the cake keep baking for a few more months? Leave it as a 3-tier cake and add frosting, ice cream and sprinkles. We discussed and decided to let the cake keep baking.
So Scott was letting them bake this cake, as they put it as. Isn't that a good thing, you are hypothetically saying? And you are mostly right. However, a lot of people were getting impatient about waiting for Security Breach. And this must have affected the course of the game. Not only is that, Scott Cawthon had also been saying some things to remove. So they had no choice but to put Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach through a filter. But deciding not to remove the stuff that was not in the final release. So meaning, if you had the buffiest computer ever, you would still have glitches. I have a PS5 and even I had issues. Point is, Steelwolf fell into the same acid as Redbird. They cut all the best features and left a tiny bit for the final game, just so it can meet the deadline. So to the YouTubers that don't like security breach, such as Foco and other people, just know that there was bowling, there was other areas that are far better than what the game actually provided with us. It's just a shame that we'll never see that because the fans, I'm not saying that all of it was their fault. I think Scott had a bit of it and also Steelwool, but couldn't have just wait for a tiny bit longer just so we can have this masterpiece? No, you can wait a couple months for a game that would have actually reached the expectations, then adding at Steelwool to release it and then get a watered down version of it. And that's another thing, expectations. I think a lot of us were expecting the Vanny and Vanessa and Glitch Trap and a lot of them, but because some impatient people couldn't wait a couple months, they got their expectations torn down, I got my expectations torn down, and everyone else got their expectations torn down. I must also stretch, Scott and Steelwool may have had a bit of it. While I blame a bit on Steelwool, I don't really blame it on Scott that much. He did say to remove some stuff, but it's his game series, and if he thinks that some things need to get removed, there's nothing that we can do. It needs to get removed. But for the other stuff that got removed that didn't need to get removed, I want it. I think we all want it. The dialogue with Glitch Trap / Burn Trap, more Vanny, more Gregory, more everything, bowling minigames, more minigames in general. We need it all. Either in updates or as in another Snyder movement. Yes, I know. Oh, how cringe, another Snyder movement. But seriously, a lot of content was removed from the game, and you can definitely tell by the 70 gigabytes of storage, and it's not even that big of a game. There's probably hours, days, weeks of content left in Security Breach. In comparison, GTA 5 in gigabytes is challenging this game. And if you've seen the campaign for GTA 5, that game is so big. I think we need something similar to a Snyder Cut movement. Guys, I know I'm not that popular, and there is a small chance that you may see this. But if you see this, we gotta spread a word about this, because we are probably missing the potential to see this giant game come to life. And I'm not just saying this so we can start a cult and gang up on Steelwool. No, I really want to see another cut of Security Breach that has everything left and unused, left on the cutting room floor. I want to see it all compile into one game that is a combination of us being fans for Five Nights at Freddy's for years. Something to reward us. And it especially doesn't help that the fact that Scott has retired. More of the way that I see this movement is more of supporting Scott, because back when the news was dropped, I didn't put much action into it. I didn't really do much. I just more of, said it time and time again that I was a bit sad that he wasn't gonna be, the guy who runs FNAF. So don't view it as a scummy way for me to capitalize on Security Breach. I'm not in this for money. All I want is just Security Breach to be the best game that it could possibly be. And I feel like the chances of that was just ripped out of my hand, because some people just didn't want to wait. And absolutely, in a way, this game is like final hurrahs for Scott, because after this, There's only like the FNAF movie and the potential sequels. And then another guy's just gonna take over. That's got trust, but after that his relevance for FNAF is just not gonna be there anymore. And it just feels more soul crushing that Security Breach couldn't be what the material has said it would be. In Security Breach, this version of Security Breach just hasn't reached expectations from us or Scott or Steelwall. And obviously I'm not trying to say forget about the cut that we did get and just focus on this one. No. If you want to, I'd say go back and put DLC in the other one, because Security Breach, the one that we got, is not bad. All I want is just this version that we never got, that the promotional material was promoting and just never gave. Now, I've said it before, but I am a small channel. I can't just say something in a video and then Steelwall will listen. No. Only people like Dorko that have actually met and physically have had a conversation can really have that one chance that will actually happen. Because even if you're known, even if you're the most known person in the FNAF community, there's a chance that Steelwall or Scott Coulson won't actually see it. And so I feel like I ask every single time, but I need your help for real this time. If you want to see Security Breach in its full form, we need to spread a hashtag on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, just so the developers can see it. I mean, it is not impossible. The only thing that is a step back is the amount of people that will actually do it. And that's why I need your help. Because the starter cut happened, lots of people asked for the Snyder cut and it happened. So it is not far stretch that we can do it for FNAF. FNAF, as much as you may look at it, it is a small community. This game made it very big, but at its core, it is a small community. And Steelwall themselves are small, so it is a more likely chance that they'll say yes to it than Hollywood. Because Hollywood, they're giant. Everyone in their lifetime has watched a movie, but not everyone in their lifetime has played a FNAF game. So it's a lot more lower in the chances of it not happening, but it is high when it comes to actually being possible, because all we have to do is spread a message. The message could be anything. Release the security cut, release the FNAF SV cut, release the intended cut, or as I will put it as, release the Scott cut. The Scott cut does not need everything. To be honest, if it had absolutely everything, I think it would be too much. But I'm saying have most of it. Have most of the scrapped mechanics and things. And especially add a follow mode. It was the most annoying thing when playing Security Breach. But that does not matter. What does is adding most of the content that was removed, such as dialogue that wasn't added into the final game, such as Burn Trap, or more Vanny lines, more places that we can go to, change other locations, change the Fazwatch, to maybe look like in the trailers it did. But most importantly, make it good. I don't want this to actually happen and then for it to be as bad and even worse than the old one. Because if the Snyder Cut was bad, then everything that led up to it would have been absolutely wasted. Whoever the director is for Security Breach, just please, I am down on my knees, putting my hands together and praying, please make the Scott cut, your cut, whatever cut. All we need for Security Breach, the Scott cut to happen is the hashtag. Add it at Steelwall on Twitter. Add it on TikTok, if they even have it. Add it on their YouTube. Add it absolutely everywhere. Go to their studio, wherever it is, and say, release the cut. Maybe it's not that big of an urgent that you need to go to the place. But at least make it aware online. Like, if you are a FNAF fan, then make it something that every FNAF fan knows about. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Enjoy your New Year. It is already past New Year's, but I have a will to say it since I feel like I barely say it. But enjoy the New Year because, oh boy, it seems to be a lot is happening for the FNAF community, and some of it is not good, some of it is quite bad, but some of it gives a bit of hope. And if this actually happens, then this may be the best year for FNAF ever since FNAF got popular yet again. Or whenever the first game came out, even. It may surpass the biggest event in the FNAF community. But anyway, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Share this video. Share the hashtag. I'll put it in the comments below. I'll put it in the description. I'll also put it in the video. You probably already noticed. But anyway, I'm the FNAF TP guy, the guy that made the Bully Maguire videos, and I'm signing out. Bye.